Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Armida A11. Now, I am really impressed with this watch for the price. The price of this watch is $399. It's available directly from Armida. I'll leave a link in the description to their website. This one here is the no date version, but they also offer it with a date and then a day date version and then a couple different dial colors. So go check out their website. There's 10 different variations of this watch. Now you may have noticed it looks a little small, and that's because it is a small dive watch, but we'll get into the specs, the measurements later in the video here. So the thing that impressed me most about this watch, well, there's quite a few things. I'm really am impressed with this watch for the price. This watch has a Swiss ETA 2836-2 movement, a $400 dive watch with the ETA movement. Now with that movement, you get 40 hours of power reserve. Of course, there's hand winding and hacking as well. So hand winding, when you unscrew the crown, this is a screw down crown, of course, but unscrewing the crown here, there we go. So first position out, you can wind the movement, therefore increasing the amount of energy left in the watch. The maximum power reserve is 40 hours. And then when you pull the crown out to the next position, this is actually a ghost date position. So the movement has a date, but the dial is not cut out for it. So inside of or behind the dial, there is a date wheel turning around. Not a big deal. I gladly would have put up with the ghost date for this Swiss movement versus having a Seiko NH38 or a Miyota 9019 movement, for example. So anyway, I pulled the crown all the way out, and that has hacked second hand. In other words, second hand has stopped. Then you can set the time. So let's screw the crown back in. So this is a signed crown. There we go. Took the camera a minute to focus, but you can see that cool engraving there on the crown. The engraving is also on the back. Well, it's not the same engraving, but the back is engraved as well. Similar kind of pattern. And you can read here on the case back, Sapphire 300 meter. That's right. This is a 300 meter water resistant rated dive watch. And it is pretty thin and small to attain that rating. There, ETA 2836-2, 316L, Armida, and then looks like a serial number down there. And since we're looking at the back, you can see it has solid end links, and it does have solid links. Also, this portion of the clasp is milled. This is stamped, and this part here is stamped. It does have 4 micro adjusts. The side of the clasp is polished. The underside is brushed, or the top side, I guess, depending on how you look at it. It is signed with Armida. It's a deep engraving there. It's not just a surface laser engraving. So the way this clasp works is pretty neat. The metal here has been peened. There you go. So in doing so, when you peen the metal, the portion to the inside of these depressions here get deformed, and those deformed areas of metal engage with this spring here, and then there's a little ledge right there machined into that clasp. So these areas that have been deformed will then sit inside of those little ledges right there. So that's fairly secure, but then when you have the safety clasp, it's not going to come off your wrist. So pretty neat engineering solution there. And also there's little detents on here that fit into those holes right there on the clasp. And also you can see these are screw links, so very easy to remove the links and add the links to fit your wrist. This bracelet does taper as well. Polished middle links, brushed outer links. Very nicely done Jubilee bracelet. I really don't know how they make money on this watch with all of these specs. drilled lugs as well. Case side is polished. Top is brushed. The bezel is very nice on this. I have no complaints with the bezel. Nice solid bezel action. So if you can hear that clicking or not. It does have an actual loom pip in this aluminum bezel insert, so perhaps that's a negative, but I don't mind aluminum bezel inserts. Ceramic is nice, of course, but aluminum does have its charm. It's not like a mineral glass or hardlex crystal where it gets scratched and it kind of messes up the functionality of the watch. Scratches and some fading on aluminum bezel is not the end of the world. So, but anyway, aluminum bezel insert. Sapphire crystal with AR coating on the underside. And again, this watch is rated at 300 meters of water resistance. Everything on the dial is printed on. I've not seen the loom yet. We'll experience that together at the end of the video. I really like this watch. I wish my camera would do a better job at focusing. All right, but there we go. Oh yeah, let's check out the loom pip. It's an actual loom pip. It sticks up out of the bezel here. So kind of looking forward to how that's going to look under the, well, at night here or in the dark. Yeah, very nice quality watch. All right, let's zoom back out here. Oh, I wanted to talk about the clasp a little further. You may have seen it already, but there is a dive extension in here. I have not measured how much that extends. It's probably at least 10 millimeter. Got my little rubber scale here, I guess. 10, so that's about 15 millimeter that it expands that out. So I never used a wetsuit. I don't know if that's the appropriate amount or what, but you have that functionality. And it is rated to 300 meters, so you can take this diving, of course. Crown size on this. Oh, you know what? I didn't go over the rest of the specs. Let's go over the dimensions right now. 43.8 millimeter lug to lug. And there is no male end link, so that is the actual lug to lug. 43.8. Case diameter on this is, bezel diameter on this, 36. Case diameter is 35. So you can see the bezel is proud of the case, which is a great function. It makes it a lot easier to get a hold of that bezel and rotate it for when you're, I don't know, timing your popcorn or whatever you do with the timing bezel. Watch thickness is fairly thin, considering that, again, that 300 meter water resistance is 12 millimeter thick. Lug width is 18, and that does taper down to 16. And then the engraved crown, signed crown, is 6.4 millimeter, which is actually a pretty good sized crown considering the size of the watch. I had no problem using this crown. And the loom on this watch is BGW9, which we'll take a look at after I put it on wrist here. Actually, I'll compare it to my SKX 009 here for a moment. I need to look at their website again. I don't know. I don't think they offer this watch in a larger size. They have similar looking watches, but they don't have this Swiss ETA movement in them. I could be wrong, though. I'd have to go study their website a little more. Anyway, the SKX is a 42 millimeter diameter watch. In the camera, it doesn't look... Yeah, I mean, you can see the difference in size, but looking at it by eye, it's definitely much smaller, the Armida. But we'll put it on wrist here. Actually, I have my another dive watch here. This one's only 200 meter water resistance though, but the 39 millimeter watch. If Armida made this the same size as the Black Bay 58, I would totally snap one up. I've seen some Black Bay 58s with the Jubilee bracelet. I forgot who makes it, but it looks pretty good. probably only my real complaint with this watch is I don't like the styling of the bracelet. But anyway, we're here for the Armida. So let's get this on wrist. Set that watch down somewhere so it doesn't fall on the floor. So here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist. Now, a 36 millimeter watch without a rotating die bezel, I think it looks okay for me, but this one here just looks too small for my preference. Maybe I'll might do another video here comparing this to other 36 millimeter watches. Actually, I guess you can call this 35 or 36, however you want to look at it. But the size is great for wearing it. I can tell the time on it easy enough. It's very comfortable on wrist, so I can definitely see the appeal of a 36 millimeter Rolex Explorer type watch. Just with the die bezel makes it look even smaller, but like I said, it's very easy to tell the time on it. It just looks a little small. All right, let me zoom out here. You know, it doesn't look all that bad. I don't know. It would just take some time for me to get used to this size of watch. So let me know in the comment sections what you guys think of this watch. Is it something you would consider buying or not? Actually, here I have my SKX013 aftermarket bezel insert. I may switch it back one of these days. I don't know. But these are somewhat similar size watches. So let's look at these real quick and then we'll get to the lume. Actually, no, I might just compare these two in the lume. Normally I use my SKX009. Let me zoom back in. Seiko is not making these anymore, but you can go to Long Island Watch. He has a similar size watches and similar styling as well. I think those are about $300 if I remember correctly, but they have NH36 movement, not a Swiss ETA movement like this. All right, hold on and we'll be right back with the lume comparison. All right, so on the left we have the Armida A11 with the BGW9 lume, and on the right my Seiko SKX013 with Seiko LumiBrite. A11 lume is really not that bad. It's not as bright as the Seiko, but it's not that bad. I mean, for a $400 micro brand dive watch with all of these other great features, the lume really is not that bad. So if you guys are okay with the sizing of this watch, I can definitely recommend you picking one up for yourself for $399. So if you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the bell, like the video, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this watch. And that will conclude this video. As always, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.